Hello guys, so welcome back to my YouTube channel, AI automation channel. Today we are going to discuss about RAG, Retrieval Augmented Generation. But before we start, let me show you a quick demo. Right? So I have a document here. It's like AI usage report. So basically we send out the survey, and then there are 45 response from different team, including development, QC data, BA and cloud, right? So they answer a few questions about the tool, AI tool that they use on their daily basis, how it helps them on their daily work, and then what is the problem that they face while using AI. So basically it's the report that summarize all the informations that we about the user response, right? So here I have the chatbot. Okay, so it's very basic chatbot with the chat trigger, and then send the question will be sent to AI agent, and then the AI agent going to using the GPT for mini, and then we have the RAG process here, but I'm not yet starting anything with RAG, and then I'm going to ask some question about the my document, right? So how many response has been used to create the AI report, right? So and then it's getting back that no matching information found in the source document. Okay. Then I'm going to execute the workflow, and then I'm going to upload my document AI usage report and then submit it. Okay, so then get back to the workflow. You can see that after I submit the workflow document, the embedding, so basically the document will be split into smaller chunks, or in another way, smaller piece of informations, and it will be stored in the vector database, right? So I'm using the OpenAI services here. It's called the embedding from OpenAI, and then it split my document into a smaller chunk and then store it at a vector like this. Okay, so now I'm going to try to asking the same question again after we using the you can see that's the AI called the okay. So now, yeah, because we already applied the something called RAG, right? Retrieval Augmented Generation. Now the model GPT 4.1 is able to answer my questions, right? And with the source, so it answer exactly the questions that we can see like total response, and then so we can ask another question like what is the top AI tool okay. So again, yeah, the top AI tool identify is ChatGPT, right? So we can confirm, yeah, it's correct. So the ChatGPT is the top usage AI tool, and then it's also mentioned the source very clear that is in the page 1 of the document. So yeah, this is the RAG chatbot, very simple and basic RAG chatbot by demo, but you can see the flow, right? So when the message is really without the RAG, right? RAG process, which means that we break our document into smaller chunks and then save it in the embedding, save it at the embedding vector in the vector database. Without it, the chatbot cannot answer the question related to our own company data, right? And with the RAG, right? So the agent now can search the data in the vector database, and then getting back the data, that most relevant part of data, and then using the OpenAI model to generate the answers based on the data that it's getting back from the vector database. Okay, so that you can see that is answer very the answer accuracies, and it also had reference correctly that where the source of data coming from. Okay, so this is the quick demo that I built on the n8n automation workflow using the simple rack chatbot, and then also simple embedding services and the data loader. Okay, so I'm gonna share the workflow JSON so that you can give it a try on your end if you want. Okay, so get back to the presentation. So again, so what is retrieval augmented generation? You already see it in action, right? So in one line, RAG lookup for the helpful information from the outside of knowledge base when you ask the question, which means when you send the prompt to the LLM model, and then the LLM model using that information to make the answer that's more accurate, up to date, and controlled. And especially very important, there's no retraining needed, right? So why? Because like the documents, maybe like the data it change faster than the model can keep up, right? And then it's cheaper to add information than retrain a model, right? So for example, like every single day in the world, a lot of data generated, and for example, in your company, right? So you have new document, new employee, new policy, right? So you cannot just retrain a model every time that you have the new data come up, right? So because like retrain the models either long and complex and like resource consuming process, so it's cheaper, very much cheaper to add the information than retrain the model, right? So RAG created to solve the problem, right? So you already see the demo, and you already see the info definition, right? So hopefully now it's better. You have to better understand about what is RAG, what is retrieval augmented generations, right? So if you still doesn't get an idea, so let's follow up with me in the next couple of slides. I'm gonna explain this in detail. So why RAG? Okay, by the numbers. So on open question test, so retrieval augmented generation would get like 3 to 10% more correct answer than just using search or just using LLM alone. So using search and LLM together work better than just one. Okay, and then mix of search methods like provide like 18% better ranking of the result. If you combine the keyword based search and also embedding based semantic search, right? And then like using the up-to-date document for the answer. So I mean the model is much less likely to give you all or wrong informations. So it reduces the information drift. And then even RAG lower the makeup answer compared to like plain chat, but like it does not fully stop them. So even if you apply RAG into your workflow to your LLM, so you just need to check and test, right? It can be using another LLM model to verify the answer, or maybe add a human in to check. For example, like just like what I showed you in the demo, right? We chat with the model, right? And then it provide the answer, and then also it provide the source. But like we cannot like 100% lay on the response from the model to work, right? We need to double check. We need cross verification, right? So we need to verify again with the document. We can using AI to verify it, or you can add some human loop, and we also have some tool, for example, like RAG assessment that allow you to verify the response from LLM model to ensure that the accuracy and the relevant to the questions. Okay, so next, so how RAG pilot work? Very simple, right? I already showed you in the demo, but like we can review it again here. So the first step, add an index, search, answer, and checks, right? First step, very basic and easy to understand. But with the add an index, so it break your document, which means the PDF file that I uploaded, so into chunk, okay, smaller. To be easy understand, like into chunk, it means a smaller piece of information. So it cut your document into a smaller chunk and then convert it into the embedding vector. So to be able to convert to embedding vector here, that we need to use the embedding service. So it can be OpenAI, it can be other embedding engine, but like we need something like that. So you upload the documents, and then it's split to smaller chunk, and then it will be converted into embedding vector and store to the embedding database. So this is number one, add and index. So number two, search. So when you send a prompt, right? So when you make the question, you send the prompt to the LLM. So it's using your question, your prompt to find the top chunk by meaning, and so semantic search, and also keyword search, keyword matching, to get the most relevant part in the source document, right? And then the LLM using the chunk that we find in the step 2 and write the answers, and also showing the source of informations. And then finally, in the RAG pipeline, we also need to add a check, right? Like I said again, like I said before, so even adding RAG improve the accuracy of the answer, but we cannot like fully depend on the answer from LLM, right? We need to add some check for the measure truthfulness and how well the context is matched, and if the answer fit the question, right? So for some testing, for example, you can like setting the chunk size, right? Depend on your context, depend on your data. It can be 200 to 500 words, and then add some overlap between chunks so that it had context information about each other. You can mix the search method like BM25 and then. So BM25 here mean like matchings, keyword matching, and then here mean semantic search, right? Embedding vector, semantic search, and then so you can balance how much info used to you, and the cost and the answer quality to build the good RAG pipeline. Okay. So there's some design choice that matter when you build a RAG pipeline, RAG infrastructure and RAG pipeline. Okay. So first, trunking, embedding, retrieval, prompting, evaluation, up, and safety. So with trunking, it's depend on your data, depend on your context. But like you can start with 200 and 500 words per chunk, and then keep 10 to 20% overlap to keep the context, right? For the code or log, so use smaller chunk. For the story or like the long document, use the bigger chunk. Okay, embedding. So pick the model that do well on the public tab, and then like update the embedding vector, which means that after you embedding your data into the embedding vector, so if the document change, you need to update it, right? So for example, in this they said that pick model that do well on the public test. So in this case, I'm using the embedding OpenAI. Okay. And then so retrieval, right? Search. Retrieval means search. Like, so you can mix the keyword search and also the meaning search. And then for the prompting, so use the clear template for the answer. I already have the very good videos I published previously, explain how to write a good prompt, right? And then you need to ensure that you protect again the trick in the prompt, so all prompt injections. And then for the evaluations, there's like tool called RAG assessment, Retrieval Augmented Generation assessment, that can be used to check for the truthfulness and how well the information is matched, and if the answer is fit. And then you can use LLM or people to like check the answer sometime. And then finally is the up and safety, right? So you need to ensure that the personal information, PII, and also the secrets, like the OpenAI key or the password when you're adding that document to the vector database, and also only allow the safe source, like for example approved website, approved documents to using in the RAG workflow, RAG pipeline. And then also set the filter for answer and the safety rule carefully. Okay. So one concrete example about the SR policy Q&A. So it pretty much similar to the demo that I shared with you, but like in the different context, right? In my case, easy about the AI usage report. In this case, is about like the SR policy Q&A. So the question is like, what is our company parental leave policy, right? So without the rack, without the like embedding, without the rack pipeline, so of course the AI model cannot provide the answer and also the source of information, right? So you need to set up the pipeline with the document, right? For example, like SR handbook with a benefit policy, and then you configure the chunk size to be like 300 word with 10 to 50% overlap for the context awareness, right? And then you index and you embedding, so convert your like document PDF file, markdown file into the embedding vector and store it into the vector database, and then search using the combination of the keyword and then some semantic search, and then like reorder to find the best chunk, and then generate the answer, right? So also like so you can see the answer that it provide a good answer, and also it come back with the reference source. And then one key very important thing that you have to guardrail for your agent, that if it cannot find the information in the vector database, so it should like say it don't know, right? And also always show the where the answer come from. So back to my demo here, for example, like if I asking the information and then it's just cannot find anything in the vector database, so it just like get back with no matching information found, instead of like generate some makeup answer, right? And then whenever it provide the answer, it's also come back with the source, and especially with this one is also so exactly which page the data coming from. Okay, so next, to measure the RAG quality, we have four things. First, retrieval, then generation, next the operation, and finally security, right? So you can apply some technique here to check the top results are correct on the test questions, or maybe compare the keyword meaning and mix up search, right? For the generation, so taking care about truthfulness, so use the real info from documents, make sure the answer fit the question, and also how well the information matching the question, matching the prompt, right? Again, you can choose Retrieval Augmented Generation assessment tool here. And then for the operation, so like you need to care about like how fast the answers start and finish, and also the cost for the answer. And then for the security, so test for the prompt injection, prompt check, and very important thing is to check for the personal information and the secret or sensitive information in the document and answer. Okay, and also only allow the safe source and safe tool. Okay, so there's some common pitfall. You like research and wrong chunk, like so depend on the context, depend on the data, so that there's no one size fits all. There's some recommendation about the chunk size and the overlap percent, right? But it's just recommendation. You need to test it with your own data, and also even you apply RAG or not, as you always need to check. Okay, and check the answer using some tool like RAG assessment, or using human, or using another AI LLM to verify the answer. And also like the very good practice is to always log the question, log the chunk, log the prompt, so that you can have the tracking, better visibility about your like RAG pipeline, better visibility about your AI application, so that you can make the change. Because again, no one size fits all, and then there will be always some space for improvements, some space for like tweak the setting, right? So finally, some recap about chunking, about search, prompting, and evaluation, and operate with the chunking. So the best practice, or maybe the standard point to you, like 200 to 500 word per chunk, and then 10 to 20% overlap for context awareness, right? For search, so try to like mix different search method using the keyword matching and also semantic search. And then for prompting, always show the source and review the information if missing, refill the information is missing. So do not provide a make up answer, right? For the evaluation, you rack assessment, or maybe check the answer by manually, like I compare the answer with the documents by manual or using the AI. And then operation, just like another normal application, the AI application is operation too. So we need to lock everything and protecting the application against the prompt injection and personal information like password, like sensitive information, personal information, identifiable information. Okay, so thank you very much. Today we have a very long video walking through the RAG demo, right? With starting from without RAG, that the chatbot cannot answer the question, to the process of embedding our data into the vector database, and then give the chatbot the power to answer the questions based on the document information and then with the source reference. And then I went through a few slides to explain to you guys what the RAG, what the Retrieval Augmented Generations, why we need it, and then how it works, and then what is the best practice to be a RAG pilot. Okay, so hopefully it provides some helpful information. And like, if you like it, please let me know, or if you have any question or have any idea that you want to discuss about RAG, let me know. Okay, so thank you very much and have a very good day. Don't forget to follow my YouTube channel.